Hi, this is Joey Kleiner on behalf of EstateView Estate Planning Software. Today, I'm going to walk through the large gift slash SLAT calculator, which is the top left one here in our calculator section on the EstateView homepage. When you click into the calculator, you'll see the inputs in this center view. The inputs are available in the standard, Pro, and Pro Plus mode. When you click on the Pro mode, you will get a pop-up here to let you know new inputs have appeared with a blue line next to them. And then the Pro Plus mode will include additional inputs with a purple line. Starting with the standard inputs, we have the ability to model this large gift either using the lifetime exemption as it is scheduled to drop by 50% in 2026 following the sunsetting of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. We can leave the box checked by default to show this bonus exemption expiring, or uncheck it to leave the double exemption in place. Next, we have a checkbox for the ability to give a split gift. This is something where one spouse can use the second spouse's exemption for a one-time gift. So the year one gift currently shows a max of $13,610, which is the maximum for a single person to give for their lifetime exemption in 2024. However, if we use a split gift, we will see that max gift doubles to 27.2 million. If we leave that unchecked, we can model this illustration to show up to a $13,610,000 gift. The estate tax rate here is set to the federal rate of 40%, but we could increase that or decrease that. Maybe if there is estate tax at the state level, that's something that we would increase to show the effective estate tax rate. We can also show the inflation that will be used to adjust the annual savings and spending amount, as well as the lifetime gift exemption available for use. We can show the age of the grantor here at 70 years old. The program will tell us that 70-year-old has a 50% chance of living an additional 15.4 years to the age of 85.4. And so we will use the illustrated year of death of 85, which lets us know that the grantor will die in year 15 for this projection. We are also showing an annual savings of $200,000 per year, and then we have current investments of $25 million. Those investments are growing at a 7.5% annual rate, and then we are paying annual income tax on those investments of 2% of the investment portfolio. Finally, we have a year one gift here that we can show as $1 million, but let's move that to $10 million just to show the impact of making a larger gift this year. Once we have our inputs how we would like them, we can move to the results section by clicking to see the results, and that will move our inputs over to the left-hand side here and reveal the summary table. Our summary table shows that we have illustrated one gift for a 70-year-old that is projected to live an additional 15 years. They're saving $200,000 per year, and their current investments are $25 million. The investment growth rate after taxes are paid is 5.5%, and they're making a $10 million year one gift. Using these assumptions, the value of the estate of the grantor upon death is almost $32 million. The exemption is $5.4 million at that time, which results in a state tax liability of $10.6 million. The trust value is $29.5 million at the end of the 15-year projection, and the amount to beneficiaries at that time would just be about $51 million. By making this $10 million gift, the estate is saving approximately $9 million in estate tax liability, and that means each million has saved the grantor's beneficiaries $911,000. Finally, the incremental savings per million gifted shows us that if we were to gift 11 instead of 10 million, we would save an additional $1.1 million instead of the 900,000. If we recenter our inputs, we can change the calculator into Pro mode. When we do that, we get this informational pop-up letting us know that the blue line is indicating new fields for us. The first new field is the ability to show a surviving spouse. So if we check that on, we can show the spouse will survive. Here we'll make that 5 additional years. We can show the spouse spending $200,000 per year in their additional 5 years. And then we can show the spouse has not currently used any previous gifts or any amount of their lifetime gift exemption. The next new inputs are the tiered spending available. So previously we just had the amount of spending for the rest of the grantor's life. Here we have it broken down into 3 tiers, starting with $200,000 for the first 10 years that the grantor is able to save. And then beginning in the 11th year, the grantor will begin spending $200,000 per year for the next 10 years. Here, the grantor only lives 15 years, so the third tier will not be used. However, if we were to lower this to, say, 2 years, then the $100,000 would be used for the remaining 3 years of the grantor's life. And then it would revert to the annual savings spending of the surviving spouse. Similar to the surviving spouse, we can also indicate if the grantor has made any prior gifts or already used part of their lifetime estate and gift tax exemption. Here we will say they have not. And then we can indicate any portability the grantor has from a previous marriage. Here we will put that the grantor was predeceased with somebody who left $2 million of portability as a deceased spouse unused exemption. We show this grantor lives in a $750,000 home with a growth rate of 3.75%. This home will help us project more accurate numbers in terms of the estate tax liability and estate tax savings by creating a better picture of what the grantor currently has in their taxable estate. The current investments we are leaving at $25 million. And then the last new input here is the ability to toggle off the grantor status of the trust. By default, this trust will be a grantor trust receiving the $10 million in year 1. However, we could model that the trust is a non-grantor trust paying its own income tax and filing its own income tax return from inception, or that grantor trust status has been toggled off in a particular year. So let's toggle that back to never toggling off the grantor trust status and click to see our results. So in the Pro mode, we have the summaries table here with additional columns and also the ability to alter these columns by clicking Alter Summary Columns at the top. If we do that, we have many more options here that we can show to show all of our inputs as well as additional outputs. These columns can be altered in both the Summaries and Details table. The Details table has its own Alter Columns button available next to it, and there we're able to include much more information. The Details table here shows a year-by-year breakdown of what is incurring, including the levels of exemption available and types of exemption, plus when they will expire. It shows the estate tax liability for the grantor on each year if they were to pass in that year. It shows any annuity or skin payment that might be paid from the trust, and then the income tax liability or the burn experienced by the grantor to farther reduce their estate by paying the income taxes of the trust income. As we continue down the spreadsheet, we see these light purple or blue columns show up for the surviving spouse. So it shows that the surviving spouse will have a bypass trust funded upon the grantor spouse's death. The bypass trust is going to be funded with the amount of remaining exemption available to the grantor spouse. Using a bypass trust or credit shelter trust will further reduce the estate tax liability as these assets are passed using the rest of the grantor's exemption, and then the additional growth is now occurring in the bypass trust instead of the taxable estate of the surviving spouse. This means on the second death, the estate tax due is $5.7 million. This spreadsheet can be exported to Excel by clicking the Export to Excel button, and then it'll appear here in your downloads for your browser. By opening the Excel file, we can see that same information is included and can be customized in Excel format. Moving back to our central input view by clicking the center button there, we can go into Pro Plus and see the additional items added, indicated by the purple line. The first one is the ability to contribute discounted assets as part of the year one gift. If you're discounting these assets, it might be due to a lack of control or lack of marketability discount, or a tax affecting discount, depending on the type of assets that you're gifting. For this example, we will say that the $10 million represents the value of a non-controlling, non-voting interest in a closely held business. In that case, we might give a 25% discount, which will reduce our year one gift reportable value from 10 million to 7.5 million. We can also include the crummy powers, or the ability to use our annual gifting exemption to children by transferring assets into the trust and sending the beneficiaries a crummy withdrawal letter to let them know that they have the ability to withdraw those funds as they are a gift and not transferred to the trust by the grantor directly. In this case, we'll say that this couple has 2 children that they're able to use, and we can see that further reduces their year one reportable gift value, as each spouse can give each beneficiary a $18,000 gift or more, and adjust it for inflation in future years. Finally, we have the ability to check the boxes for either a private annuity rescue or skin rescue. If we click on the private annuity rescue, we will see that the annuity could start in year one, or we could delay the start for a few years. By delaying the start, we do get more paid out of the trust to the grantor for each million used to purchase the annuity. We're assuming a 75/20 rate of 5%. And then if we show the private annuity for $2 million, that'll show us the annual amount paid by the trust to the grantor is almost $216,000. We also get the information about the exhaustion test requirement, as well as the exhaustion test amount that the trust begins with. Instead of a private annuity, we can also show a self-canceling installment note as a rescue option for the grantor. We can start this skin similarly in the first year or in a year in the future. And then we can set the skin term to however many years we would like that installment note to pay those payments. Here we're assuming the 75/20 rate again is 5%. We have an AFR of 4.14%, and then that lets us calculate a per million payment amount from the installment note of just under $83,000. So we can show that with 1 million will be that 83,000. If we click to see the results now, we will see the updated numbers based on the skin rescue. What this does is include a annuity or skin payment from the trust back to the grantor or their estate. At the end of the 10 years, the principal amount is paid off. However, since this is a self-canceling note, it may be more advantageous for this note to be 20 years instead of 10. That way, the note does not have to be repaid if the grantor were to pass in year 15. And if we want to see a visual representation instead of the spreadsheet view here, up at the top where it says Summary and Details, we can click over to Timelines and Charts, and we will see over time what the gift looks like in the trust value, as well as the business and investment assets and the estate tax liability in red. Besides the timeline view, we also have a net worth over time, where we can see the net worth of the gift and tax amounts, as well as the probability the grantor will survive by age based on the most recent IRS mortality tables. Finally, the trust logistics page will show us both the no planning and with planning comparison, and we can see that the estate tax here is reduced by about $12 million by using the inputs that we have used. If we go back to the summaries and details page, we are able to duplicate this plan and make modifications. That way we can see the impact of various options. So for example, if we are not showing a surviving spouse, we can see the estate tax savings is less, as that bypass trust is never created and that additional growth does not occur. Or if we keep the surviving spouse, we can instead show what would happen if the grantor were to give a few extra $1,000,000. Here we can show a $13 million gift will reduce the estate of the grantor by age 100 to a negative value, which has been highlighted here in red for us. This shows that they may be giving too much away and are not getting enough back from their rescue technique that we have modeled here as a skin. However, if we increase the skin amount sold to the trust to 4 million, we can see that they would be able to survive past age 100 with 300,000 still in their estate. Downloadable items for the program are found in the Generate Explanation button here at the top. So if we click Generate Explanation there, we are able to create a PowerPoint presentation for as many large gifts that we have illustrated. Here we have illustrated 2. So we can create a PowerPoint presentation for each of the large gift SLAT combinations that we have illustrated. And when we click Submit, the program will let us know it is creating those PowerPoints before they are downloaded in our Google Chrome Downloads folder. So once those download, I'll go ahead and bring them up here for you. Now that those have downloaded, we can find them in our recent download history in our browser. And opening those PowerPoint presentations, we can see it includes the name that we had typed in, the date it was created, and which illustration was included. Then there are some specifics about the large gift that we had made and some general information about the unified exclusion amount dropping. And this PowerPoint will tell us about SLAT benefits and considerations, as well as what may happen in a SLAT. It shows us the assumptions that we used and then the output values that are available through the program, as well as a summary chart and the details chart. Finally, the planner's information is included on the PowerPoint slide here at the bottom. That will be pulled from the pop-up window that we looked at earlier when selecting to generate the PowerPoint, again under this general explanation button. So all of this planner information can either be pre-filled beforehand or you can edit it directly in the PowerPoint file. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has helped you better understand the large gift and SLAT calculator available in EstateView software. We welcome any comments, questions, or suggestions you may have. Thank you.